See, it presents you with this large open world. You know what? I'm gonna do the review right now, since I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I hate this game. This game is a piece of shit. This game is just so obtuse, unfun, ugly. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with how much I don't like this game. Where do I even start? I guess I should start with the core mechanics of the game. Alright, even if we put aside all the stupid shit, like the obtuseness of the level progression, of the game progression rather, the game is fundamentally boring
You are
and
now
lacking.
leaving territorial waters. Final warning.
So the game kind of consists of like a couple of components. You have combat, you have stealth, you have puzzle solving, and then you have this like open world, which is not an open world, it's like a hub world. The combat is just bland. Like, there's nothing special about the combat. You swing around a stick to hit enemies with, and it effectively consists of just mashing the attack button until everyone's dead, or fighting those armored guys, which consist of dodging the attack and then hitting the enemy until it's dead. Which is really boring, and it's really bad. And fighting the armored guys is like the worst thing in the world. Then there's the stealth, which is so basic, so bland, so unfun. But despite how unfun it is, you actually rather do the stealth than do the combat. So the game forces you, it does one or two things. It either forces you to do stealth, or it makes the combat so unbearable that you rather do the stealth just so you don't have to do the combat. Now, if you compare that to other games which provide you with an option of either combat or stealth, they aren't like that. Both the combat and the stealth are fun. Like in Watch Dogs, even a game which some people criticize for its stealth mechanics, I thought the stealth in that game was fun. That's another Ubisoft game, by the way. I thought the stealth in that game was fun, and I thought the combat in that game was fun. The only thing it was lacking proper rewards for doing stealth, because stealth is harder. You need to incentivize stealth by giving rewards, either higher score, or more money, or collectible items. In this game, there is no incentive to doing stealth other than you don't have to do the boring combat. That's it. Or you have to do it. Or you have to do the stealth because it'll kill you with a death laser. That's why you do the stealth. Not because you like it, not because there's any reward for doing it. You don't get like a pearl for doing stealth when you don't have to. You just do it so you don't have to deal with the combat. The puzzle solving is probably the best part of this game, believe it or not. Some of the puzzles can be kind of creative, sort of, but eventually it just kind of boils down to being an annoyance most of the time. I was able to figure out most of the puzzles. They're okay. Not most of the puzzles. I was able to figure out all the puzzles. Like I said, they're okay, but they're nothing special. This game tries a lot of different things, but it doesn't excel at any of them. Alright? Then you have this open world, which is trying to be like Zelda and say, hey look, you can go wherever you want. But it is just a veneer. You guys know what a veneer is? Anybody know what a veneer is? I'll tell you what a veneer is. A veneer is a coat of paint. That's it. So when you have a veneer or a coat of paint, it is just an illusion. So this open world is not really an open world. It is nothing more than a glorified hub world, which connects several linear levels together and nothing more. There's nothing to do on this overworld. It's not like in GTA 3, 4, 5, Vice City, and San Andreas, where you have things to do in the open world. GTA does not connect a bunch of linear levels together. The entire game takes place on the open world that it created, which is the whole point of the open world. You know what I'm saying? You catch my drift? Whereas this game, it's like, go here. Now do a linear level. You see, it could have just been level to level, and you wouldn't have even noticed the game being different, because this open world adds nothing to the game, actually. It's bullshit, because there's nothing to do on it. It's totally empty and lifeless. You should never bother with an open world if it's totally devoid of anything interesting to do on it. There's nothing to do here. Speaking of nothing to do, there are no side quests. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm looking at, these are the objectives. This was such a wasted opportunity to have like an open world kind of game. Oh, that's where I'm supposed to go. Okay. to have an open world kind of game, but with nothing to do on it. Like, it has pearl collecting. Wouldn't that be a good opportunity to give me a whole bunch of side quests to then get pearls as a reward? I mean, that makes so much sense. It's downtime from the main missions. Instead, I have to do fucking racing and air hockey to get pearls? Like, what? That's a joke. Okay, like, the racing, the vehicle physics in this game are just, they're not terrible, but they're nothing special either. I am kind of willing to give it a pass for it though, because it is an old game, and back in those days, it was still relatively new to combine, you know, good vehicle physics with, you know, a game that wasn't about racing. That was still a relatively new thing, but still, I mean, there were other games that did it, and they did it better, like Halo or Grand Theft Auto 3. And this game came out after those games. So I really shouldn't be giving it a pass. Yeah, the vehicle physics, like, racing is just not fun. Like, it just feels like a cheap, shallow version of... I mean, if I wanted to do racing, I'd just play a racing game. You know, if you're gonna implement racing to this game, at least make it fun and interesting, and it's not. I didn't like doing it. I guess it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing this game has. But it was also shallow and pointless, and not fun. And the air hockey thing, again, is like... That leads me into my next point. There are towns in this game, and there's just nothing to do in them. They're hollow and lifeless. The air hockey thing is the highlight of that one town. Alright? There's nothing to do in them. And the NPCs are so boring to talk to! Like, if you play Ocarina of Time, there are NPCs in that game in Hyrule Castle, right? And most of them, or maybe even none of them, say anything very important. Okay, maybe some of them give you some clues. But yet, they are designed so well that the town feels alive and you actually enjoy talking to the NPCs. Even if they don't say anything very important, it piques your curiosity. And when they say things, they say things that actually make the town feel alive. Whereas in this game, all the NPCs are designed stupidly. And they're all boring, and you don't care about what they have to say. Which makes the town feel dead. Okay? It's the same problem that Rage had. Rage had towns, and they all felt dead because the NPCs had nothing interesting to say. Hey, Allie. I'm just doing my review, sorry. The NPCs in this game are just so dull. They're so boring. And the main characters are boring. I don't care about Jade, and like, Jade was so upset about her kids. About the kids being kidnapped by the aliens or whatever. I don't even know what the hell was going on. I didn't care. Because the story never bothered to make me care about those damn kids. And in fact, the one time that I even saw them in a cutscene, They were being stupid by standing out in the middle of an asteroid storm. And they stupidly got hit by an asteroid. And I'm supposed to feel bad for them? Fuck those kids. I hope they did die. I don't even know. Like, the game is, like, the story's so boring that I don't even know exactly what it's about. Something about saving the world, which is what every single other video game story is always about. But you know what makes those the stories in video games interesting? It's not the goal. Like, saving the world, no one gives a fuck about that. Like, that's been done in every single video game. What makes a story interesting is the character interaction and the NPC's problems, the problems that they deal with, the imperfection of the characters. Okay, it's the same problem I had with Xenoblade Chronicles, because, you know, it's like, yeah, the story focuses on saving the world, but I don't care about that. I care about their interaction with each other, the trials and tribulations that they have, their personal problems. Remember in Deus Ex, Human Revolution, the the pilot, she had personal problems, and then you had to do side quests to investigate that, to help solve her problems. That's what makes the game story and the game itself so compelling. When they have imperfections and problems, and you explore them, that's what makes them three-dimensional. In this, they're all like two-dimensional cardboard cutouts. Exactly, yeah, it's about the journey, and it's so, like, I mean, like, they have the pig, who's like, I have no connection with the pig. Our only indication of what's important about the pig is some stupid CD that said, oh, he took care of me when I was a kid. So that's why I'm supposed to give a shit about him? Instead of doing that, why don't you actually show us, you know, their growth together? Instead of just shoehorning in a fucking CD, and then, oh, that's why Jade cares about him. But the player doesn't care about him. I have to go save the pig now because she cares about him, not because I care about him. So it failed in that, in investing the player in the world and in the problems that they have. And finally, I'm going to wrap up the review just by talking about the obtuseness. I want to make it clear, I did not have a single problem solving a single puzzle in this game. Okay? You can watch the VODs, I never got stuck on a puzzle. I got stuck after I beat the puzzle, and the game doesn't tell me where I'm supposed to go next. That's where I got stuck. Because it didn't tell me, oh, you gotta push a button on the terminal downstairs. That's what I missed. Why didn't you just put that on the map, or just have a thing that says at the bottom, go push the button on the terminal to open up, or not even do that. As soon as I input the code on the top terminal, just open up the fucking door and show me the spaceship. Why do I have to push a button in order for that to happen? Never tell me about that. It's so stupid and retarded. And then the other time I got stuck was after I took a photo of the thing I was supposed to take a photo about. And then I was supposed to go back into my hovercraft and go to another section. Like, it should have just said that. I thought there was something else I had to do in that area, but it never made it clear. It shows me a mini-map, but it doesn't say, like, how to get to these other places. Like, a small little message, or maybe have that idiot that tags along with me say it. And speaking of that idiot, like, he's supposed to be like he looks so stupid, by the way. Like, he looks like a ventriloquist dummy. Like, he looks like his face is totally static, but the jaw moves up and down, you know, like how a ventriloquist dummy looks like. It's so fucking creepy and nasty. I think he's supposed to be like comic relief, but he's not funny. He's just weird looking. And that's what this game, like, I guess maybe I laughed a few times, but the game's just not funny. Like, it tries to be funny, but it's not funny. And finally, you know, I said finally before, but actually I keep remembering things I want to complain about this game. The graphics are really shit. You know, they are so bad. Even at the time, you might say, oh, this is a PlayStation 2 game. No, it's not. It's a multi-platform game. And even games on the PlayStation 2 look better than this piece of shit. Okami looks so much better than this. Okay, if you want to play a Zelda-like game that isn't Zelda, I recommend Okami. You know, don't play this because it's shit. It looks so drab, and that's the reason why I wasn't interested in playing this game at the time. Like, it's not like I never heard of this game before. I heard about it. I heard great things about it, but I was never really interested in playing it because it always just looks so dull to me. And you know what? Sometimes those instincts are correct. Like, this is supposed to be a futuristic setting. Look, I'm in like this fucking spaceship thing, but this world looks so dull. It doesn't look futuristic. And I'm sorry, but the graphics are responsible for that. If you look at the trailer to the sequel, like, that's the way the game is supposed to look. That's what the world is supposed to look like. And unfortunately, in order to capture that world, you do need better graphics to represent it. And unfortunately, the graphics engine that they're using in this game was inadequate at capturing the world that they wanted to make. Okay. So I've been bitching about like everything I hate about the game. I should mention some things that are good, that are redeeming. Like the music is really the only thing I can think of. Like I actually do like the music. Like the Jamaican music is, I mean, I don't care whether it's like ethnically accurate or whatever. I don't give a shit. Like it just sounds good. And that like Latino music when you're doing the racing, that's actually pretty, you know, gets me pumped. I like it. Um, Other than that, I think that's about it. Um, yeah, I mean, like, it tries, like, a whole bunch of things, but it really doesn't succeed or is good at any of them, so that's all I gotta say about this game. It's a piece of shit, and you know what? Even despite that, I'm willing to admit, this is my review, you know, I didn't beat it yet. Yeah, I'm actually just reviewing it before I beat it, because I think I played the game enough to be able to review it. But you know, I am willing to admit that maybe my opinion of this game is an outlier. But my guess is that I don't think it is. I just think the game has not aged well. Um, Maybe at the time people liked it compared to some of the other games out at the time. But like I said, I can think of other games at the time that were much better. Um, and but you know, despite that, you know, if you want to give it a shot, you know, give it a shot and tell me what you think. I am actually genuinely interested in hearing what people who have never played this game before think of it. Think of it now, not at the time, because everyone I encountered who played this game, they say, oh yeah, I played this game, but they either didn't beat it or they played it and beat it a long time ago and they haven't beaten it since. And I have to wonder why is that? You know, because I play lots of classic games. It's not like I don't like it because it's old. There are lots of classic games that aged beautifully, like Ocarina of Time, Zelda 1. I like Zelda 2. A lot of people didn't like that, but I liked it. A Link to the Past, uh, Sonic games, you know, Mario games, so many Genesis games. Like, you know, like there's so many games out there that are old that come from this time that I think aged beautifully, and they still are fun. But this is not. It's just not. And that's all I gotta say. What's my rating out of 10? I don't know. I think, you know, like, I think my review, you know, kind of speaks for itself. You know, when you, I went over, like, you know, pretty much everything I think of the game, and, like, the only redeeming aspect of the game I can think of is just the music. So, like, I don't know, what does that translate to? A 2? You know? I don't know. Um, Something around there. Yeah, Bloodlines aged well. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about this game. Fuck it. Alright, let's try beat it. You think maybe by the time I beat it, I'm gonna, like, love this game or something?